Light Yagami starts Death Note as a bored kid, but by the end of the series, he's willing to sacrifice anyone in his pursuit of becoming the god of a new world. Light Yagami is a 17-year-old high school student who is bored of life. He's also one of the most brilliant minds in all of Japan. Light views the world as rotten to its core and believes that crime and corruption have infected society. One day, his world flips upside down when he picks up a notebook that falls from the sky called the Death Note, a book that enables you to kill anyone simply by writing down their name while picturing their face. Light tests the notebook on a criminal during a live television broadcast, and to his surprise, it actually works. The man dies of a heart attack shortly after his name is written down. From there, Light begins killing criminals on a massive scale, and as he continues, he starts to see himself as the only person capable of fixing the world. Eventually, he becomes to believe that he is destined to become the god of a new world. And what makes Light so interesting is that he isn't a traditional hero, because he's the protagonist of the whole story, but as the story progresses, he gradually becomes the villain. The stakes of the story skyrocket when the world's greatest detective, L, takes the case. L appears on live television, acting as a man named Lind L. Taylor, and he publicly challenges Kira, which is Light's alias. In reality though, it's a trap. Light takes the bait, writes down Taylor's name, and kills him. This becomes the first major psychological battle between Light and L. It's clear here how Light's emotions get the best of him. It also reveals both Light's intelligence and one of his greatest weaknesses, his ego. From this moment on, the war between them officially has begun. The psychological warfare between Light and L becomes the heart and soul of Death Note. Throughout the series, Light constantly outsmarts investigators through his schemes, deception, and his manipulation. Most notably, he uses Misa Amane, another Death Note user who possesses Shinigami Eyes, an ability that allows her to see a person's name simply by just looking at their face. Light repeatedly manipulates the people around him to protect his identity and maintain control. As the story progresses, Light takes increasingly extreme measures to stay ahead of his opponents. Death Note reaches a major turning point when he finally succeeds in eliminating L. With his greatest rival gone, the one person capable of challenging him has been removed from the case. At this point, Light fully embraces his role as Kira and begins viewing himself as a true god. Moving on, Light takes L's place within the task force and gains more influence than ever before. He shifts from being an anti-hero into an undeniable villain, ruling through fear and receiving worship from supporters around the world. But the case doesn't end with L. Nier and Mello are L's successors and pick up the investigation right where he left off. As the story continues, Light's fatal flaw, his overwhelming pride, becomes more and more present. Confident that nobody can beat him, he begins underestimating the people trying to bring him down. At the Yellow Box warehouse, Light is finally exposed and defeated. Instead of dying as the god he imagined himself to be, he spends his final moments desperately trying to escape the consequences of his previous action. In the end, Light isn't defeated by Nier, Mello, or even the task force. He's defeated by the same exact flaw that had been growing since the very beginning: his own pride. The boy who wanted to become a god ultimately destroys himself.